Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Did you miss a show? Download the podcast now.
Hey, it's Elena J. Have you ever gone skinny dipping? If so, did it result in you going to the ER? We chat about our craziest skinny dipping stories. Plus, did Kat really work at a morgue back in the day? And was she really an amazing tap dancer? And why would a guy get a tattoo of his wife naked, looking like a mermaid, before going into jail? All of this plus so much more is coming up in the Playhouse Podcast, which starts now.
Young Liam looks at his mother at the beach and says,
why can't I just go naked? I'm like, I wish I could answer that question.
so inquisitive at 7 years old.
I would love to just go topless. I'm at that age where I'm just like, I don't care.
Problem is, all naked guys look like your high school principal.
Yeah.
They all do. They all got a principal look. They're bald. They're paunchy. They got a horrible dad bod. They got weird tan lines, and some of them don't take care of themselves, if you know what I mean.
I go through this cycle like every year before we go on the party plane to paradise to Mexico. I'm like, oh my God, I really got to get into shape. And then you get there and you're like, no, I don't. Like,
I eat more there than I do before I'm trying to get there. You know what I mean?
Everybody let it hang out. There's an area where you can go topless. You have to pay like money to go topless at our resort, but
that's how you weed out the uglies.
Rich people are ugly. Rich
No,
can be ugly
not as many.
Too.
Not as many. How many times have we been on the beach and we've seen a fat, disgusting guy with two really, really hot, like 20-year-old girls with him?
Yeah.
You know the dude's loaded. That's how you weed out the uglies. I'm telling you, ugly people don't pay to go naked. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Elena, you done the skinny dipping, right?
Yep.
With your family?
Yeah, we would just go out on the boat and just like...
So weird.
I don't know why we would
climb on the back of the pontoon and go, hey, Dad, I'm naked.
No. We would have a towel on. So my dad wouldn't be with. It'd just be my sisters and my mom. And it was kind of like a thing like, my mom was like, you guys want to go skinny dipping? And we're like, yeah, you know, because we're like 12. Oh my God, you know. We're being crazy.
If my dad would have ever looked at me and going, hey, you and your friends want to go skinny dipping, I would have just punched him. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been a guy fight at that point. But I know you got a good story for us. Emily, remember that time you got really naked and went skinny dipping?
Well, I grew up with a family cabin on a lake, and so skinny dipping was pretty regular. I mean, hot summer night, nothing better than stripping down and jumping in a cold lake. But the best story was actually a time when I didn't go. I was maybe 10 years old, and we had a family reunion at the lake with, family from all over the United States, like family I've never met before, aunts and uncles, great aunts, great uncles, everything. Yeah. And it was the bonfire time, and I was only 10, so all the young kids had to go to bed so all the adults could get a little crazy around the bonfire.
Sure.
Well, we thought it would be fun to sneak out of our tents and go eavesdrop on the bonfire, go see what they're saying because we're little kids. Sure as heck, all of them start stripping down. I mean, 30, 40 adults that are like, your aunts and uncles and mom and dad and everybody just butt-ass naked. Oh, I'm sorry. Running into the lake. It was scarring.
Whose idea was this? Don't you want to know who was like, I'm at a family reunion.
Uncle Scott.
I have to see
everyone. Uncle Scott said, you guys, we should all get naked and get in the pool or in the lake.
Yeah. Right, yeah, a little liquid courage or something. I don't know.
So are you a little bit scarred? Have you gone through therapy for this, for seeing Uncle Scott's thingy?
Not quite, but like I said, it was kind of a regular thing around our lake cabin. I mean, we did it a lot as kids, but yeah, that was a little bit much.
Hey, good story. Thanks, Emily. Have a good morning.
Yeah, thanks.
Take care. Jared, remember that time you got really naked and went skinny dipping? Yeah, tell me about it, man.
Which one?
Give me one.
Give me the best.
All right. So, I think I was probably like 17. Me and my buddy, he came over for the night. Went down to the access to meet a couple friends. And we got there. It was probably like midnight.
Okay.
You know? Got there, and they were really scared and like freaking out and said like there's something walking around. We were just kind of laughing at him at that point. But we did see some wet footprints up at the access, which is really weird. So we proceeded to swim for a little bit, go to their dock, like a block away, essentially about the distance of a block, I guess. And we hear, and it's probably like 2 in the morning now, and we hear this sound. It's really windy out there. We couldn't really see it. And then, like, the guy comes up pulling himself along the reeds in this rowboat and starts talking to us and lecturing us on how drugs are bad, this and that, and just don't know, an hour rambling, and then proceeded to pull out something and snort it. And then we were like, what the hell? We got to get out of here.
So hold on, this guy's telling you about how bad drugs are, and then he's doing coke right in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
God.
Yeah, and at this point, we're like freaking out, kind of like this is, could be bad situation.
Right.
So, thankfully, he ended up just having to go, but yeah, that's probably the weirdest one for me.
I can't believe you sat through 60 minutes of this guy's rant.
Sometimes if you see somebody who's high and they're just rambling, you just wait to see what happens next, right?
And we're young, yeah, we didn't know. We were just like, just going on and on.
Has this kept you off the blow up till this point, Jared? Has this deterred you from, doing a few lines?
Absolutely.
All right, man. See, it doesn't. Listen, I think sometimes the good Lord sends down messages in crazy ways, and if it's a naked guy in a rowboat telling you not to do coke as he does a line off his own thigh, then good for you, man.
Well, he wasn't naked, so that's a good part of the story.
Well, I put it. Listen. You have to up your embellishment game a little bit. This story would have been a lot better if he'd have been doing naked blow off his own thigh, man.
Yeah, but it would have been more awkward considering I was 17 since talking to him for him.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. So
We got to go. I'm getting that visual.
Yeah, right. I feel like we're crossing some lines here, man. Have a good day, all right? I want to take one more here real quick. Good morning, Jordan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Remember that time you got really naked? What happened?
Well, I have kind of two stories.
Ooh.
The first one is when me and my family, we go up to a cabin, and we tend to get a little twisted.
Okay.
But me and my cousins were not the ones skinny dipping. There was three elderly, as I say elderly, I mean like in their 60s.
Okay.
Sorry to offend anybody. But they were swimming, and my uncle thought it was me and my three cousins swimming. So he came out and just screamed at them, yelling at them to get out of the lake. Like, it is past your bedtime.
That's great.
This is not okay.
Oh my
And in the meantime,
And the three girls, they're like, we're so sorry, sir. We didn't know we couldn't do this.
three retired old ladies jump out.
Yeah. It's almost breakfast for them.
They're just having the time of their life, and my uncle's yelling at them like it's three 15-year-olds.
We'll take it as a compliment.
Hey, listen, yeah, good intentions, right? There it is. Hey, thanks, Jordan. Have a great morning.
When I actually,
You got another one. No,
Yep,
keep going,
thank
keep
you.
going. No. Please keep going if you got another one.
I do have another one.
Yeah.
It was when me and my buddies went out, and let's go skinny dipping. And then we decided to throw our clothes off in the woods, but we threw them in a pile of poison ivy.
No.
Yes.
So when we all got back to put our clothes on, we all got, like, terrible poison ivy. Like, two of us went to the ER because it was that bad. It was, like, blisters everywhere, and it was terrible.
Well, it all of a sudden was
we learned
super
our lesson
unsexy.
from that
Like,
one.
this was a fun, juvenile delinquent kind of thing until you started talking about the ER. So
I feel like these stories, I'm crossing it off my bucket list. I don't want any of this to happen.
I know.
You wouldn't take it back for the world, though, would you, Jordan?
No, I have yet to go back skinny dipping.
All right, well, there's always this weekend.
I learned my lesson the hard way.
Have a good morning. Jason had a good story. I want to bring him on now. What are you thinking about skinny dipping here, bud?
Yeah, so I would advise against this, but
Why?
well, I was in college, and my girlfriend and I decided that we were feeling a little crazy, so we got undressed and decided to go skinny dipping. And while we were on the dock, I lost my footing and fell with one foot into the water, and the other foot still way up on the dock, and I ended up cutting. Yeah, and I ended up cutting my underball and had to go to the ER.
Oh my God, I'm holding myself, and I don't even have those.
I beeped that out because I didn't know if I had to or not. I don't know if I've ever heard that phrase. And was it stitches? Did you have to go see a doctor? What happened here?
Stitches. I had to stitch my back together.
All right.
We
Yep,
got
we're
it.
good.
We
All
got
right.
it.
All right. The game is give me a word.
There we go.
And basically, here's the deal. You can give us any word in the English dictionary. And if we can't, as trained broadcast professionals, ramble on about your word for 60 seconds without pause, we win. But you win if we screw it up. And that's just that simple. We usher in on line number 4 here, my man Chris. What's going on today, buddy? What are you doing? Chris, what are you doing?
Not much. Just on my way into work.
Excellent. What do you do for a living?
I work in HVAC.
Excellent. So, are you like inside today when it's really hot, or are you outside?
I'm inside. I'm the warehouse manager.
That a boy. All right. So you got management skills. What I need from you is any word in the English dictionary, and if we can't ramble on about that word for 60 full seconds, you get the hookup this morning. So give me a word, Chris.
Jello.
Jello. Go, Kat.
Jello rhymes with hello. You know, Jello reminds me of my grandma Katie. She would pump us full of Oreos, Kool-Aid, Jello. But it wasn't until later on in life that I found out that Jello is made from horse hooves, which makes me want to vomit.
Now, horse hooves obviously come from horses, and my favorite horse name was Hoof-Hearted, because as they were, this was a racing horse, and as he was coming down the stretch, and he's like, and hoof-hearted by a nose, and that always makes me think of Elena J and the way she looks when everybody farts in the studio.
Because Kat and JJ, they let them rip every morning. And Kat, I gotta say, I'm sorry, but I think your farts smell way worse than JJ's.
Here we go. She's coming at me again. I get it. Okay. Well, you know what? I always catch her at the worst times. I go in to say, hey, Elena, I got a question for you. And her farts stick in the carpet on the walls. Our carpet walls are so our voice doesn't bounce off and echo back. But in this case, they're just fart traps.
Yeah,
and it's
Chris,
horrible.
you ever had to chew on a fart? Hey, we won! Yay!
Nice.
Well done with Jello. Hey, man, I appreciate the effort this morning. I'm going to still hook you up with some goodies. How's that?
Good morning. So summer days like yesterday, today, really remind me of like growing up. You know, I grew up in beautiful Montrose, Minnesota, and you drive through, don't blink, okay? But like summertime was the time that you really started making sure that you were honing your craft when it comes to your talent. I talk about my pageant days all the time. I was a tap dancer, believe it or not.
Really?
I was very light on my feet.
You've never told this story before.
I know. But, you know, when I was involved in the pageant circuit, it was cutthroat. I mean, we lost some good friends. My friend Tammy Curry, she went out for a tractor ride. And, you know, she always liked to smoke after a good tractor ride.
Oh.
And who doesn't?
Yeah.
But her tractor blew up one day.
Holy crap.
And so all of us started, like, thinking, could this be the pageant sabotage? You know, things that happen. Murder, yes, it's quite a length to
on
go.
On the pageant scene, murder.
But Tammy Curry was dead. But you know where I practiced my
R.I.P.
tap dancing was, and another thing that you don't know, sometimes daily we surprise each other, but I would tap dance while I worked at the local morgue, which I didn't make
You never told me about working at a morgue either. What's going on here?
It's weird. But I would do makeup on the bodies, and sometimes I would do it just, you know, I'd like to make them look
like a clown.
Sometimes maybe a little bit more lively, but it was a really, really cutthroat circuit. But I made it as far as I possibly could. But there were signs. It was like Final Destination. One girl who was signing wished she was deaf, but she signed as her talent. And one day, the spotlight, she took my spot.
Hold on a quick second. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, Kat's telling the story of Drop Dead Gorgeous.
There it is. Yay!
You didn't believe I was a tap dancer?
No, and you didn't grow up in Montrose.
Beautiful Montrose, Minnesota. That is one of the best flippin' movies ever. Derek and I watched it on HBO Max the other day. I'm like, oh, I forget how amazing that movie is.
Apparently not. Sarah, what are you doing right now?
Oh, just getting ready for work.
All right. So you know the rule. Anytime you hear us take a movie and make it our life, we're going to hook you up with some fantastic prizes. So I'm going to put you on hold here in a second. We'll get you all hooked up, all right?
Weird news.
All right. So we were on lockdown here, but still we were allowed to go places. But if you were in Wuhan, China, like you had to stay in your home. You could not leave. People would bring you food and just like run away, leave it at the door, run away. A 26-year-old Chinese man has now put on some serious weight over the last 5 months. He has gained 200 pounds.
Oh.
He is now labeled Wuhan's fattest person. That's so awful that they call him that. But as soon as the lockdown began, he started gaining weight. A few months later, ballooned to 616 pounds.
Ooh, he was
I
a
don't
big
know
boy
about
to
you.
begin. He was a big boy to begin with then.
I lose weight after I eat Chinese food. I don't know if that happens to anybody else.
Weight.
But...
I lose the Chinese food fast, but...
Oh, yeah, maybe that's it. All right, so the co-founder of Reopen NC has now started a new campaign that she's working on. Her name is Ashley Smith. She's promoting the Burn Your Mask Challenge, and she doesn't believe that masks protect anybody. Mandating people to wear one is about control, according to the group. So they sound fun. And I feel like there's a lot of tofu in their life and kale chips. But listen, once again, if you feel like you are victimized because you're wearing a mask, just walk the other way. Who cares? It's just another Ashley Smith on your hands. There's nothing wrong with wearing a mask. Do you still wear one at all when you go out?
The places I've had to wear one are
Menards? Costco?
No. The only place that I've really ever had to wear one, or that I have worn one, was when I took Nolan to get his hair cut.
Oh, yeah.
They made us wear one in there. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's weird news.
Oh, Lena, what's the name of the movie that got yanked from Netflix?
Hereditary.
Just too scary, huh?
Yeah.
And you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't think it was too scary, though. I don't know. It wasn't, like, jumpy scary. You know? I mean, there was a twist at the end. But...
I hate scary movies. I like watching like Ghost Adventures and stuff like that, but I hate scary movies. I don't know why I can't compartmentalize.
We watch scary movies every weekend.
You do?
Yeah, Melissa and I are super into them.
Oh, man.
My wife can't do it. She freaks out. She won't even, if it starts even scary, she won't even watch it.
The ones that have some truth to them that are actually happening in the world, those are the ones I can't watch because I know it's happening, like Hostel, where they hunt the humans.
Is that the centipede one?
And they tear the eyeball out of that girl. That's Hostel, right? Where she's sitting there and these rich white men from America pay to terrorize people from other countries.
Jeez. What does that cost?
Pretty penny, I'll tell you that. So, I don't know.
There's also a movie where people hunt humans, too, and that one freaked me out a little bit, knowing that might actually be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, where these people pay, like, really high dollars to go hunt, prize lions or stuff in Africa.
Yeah.
But they hunt humans like that.
I know, it's scary.
Like, they enslave these people, and then they send them out, and they give them, like, an hour head start. And they're confined inside like a 20-mile whatever.
Yeah.
And they give them like a week. And if you can withstand being out on your, without getting shot, they shoot them.
Yeah.
That one freaked me out a little bit. Hey, Kelsey, what's going on? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Give me a movie I'll probably be just scared to poop with.
Sinister and Sinister 2.
And what's that about?
Is that the most about one?
So it's about the family that moves into a house, and he's an author for horror books, basically.
Okay.
And he finds this box of movies in the basement, and all the movies start out as like a family scenic view of the kids are playing by the pool, or they're camping, or they're mowing the lawn, and then it scratches over to what the demon then records afterwards. So like the family with the pool, it then goes over to where everyone is tied down to a lawn chair, and then he pulls them in the pool to drown them to death, and they mow over the heads on the lawn, and
oh my god,
he's just like a demonic, scary.
So you saw the first one with all this happening. You decided number 2 sounds like a good idea, and you still watched it.
Well, yeah, it was a movie that actually scared me, not like other fake movies that don't happen.
I don't know if maybe I'm the only one that just doesn't like this kind of stuff. I don't like being scared.
I wouldn't have gone to number 2. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Do you like haunted hay rides? Do you like haunted houses and stuff like that come Halloween?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm just like JJ, and I'm petrified of clowns. I will not watch the original It for anything. Gross. No.
I will beat a clown to death with his floppy shoe, and I will take his red nose and I'll keep it and I'll put it on my nightstand as a reminder that clown is now off the earth.
I'm gonna just help people out. In the latest It, you don't even have to see it. They kill the clown the dumbest way possible. Mm-hmm. They yell at him. That's how they kill the clown at the end. You're dumb. You're horrible. And the clown gets super, super tiny like a baby. And then they kill it.
So
it's the dumbest ending to a movie I've ever seen.
Hey, Kelsey, what were the name of these? Those Sinister 1 and 2, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, it just sounds too scary for me. Thanks for being twice the man I'd ever hoped to be.
Welcome.
Have a good morning. I appreciate you being on the show. Anybody else got one? Like, we should really... Well, you want to read some of these texts that were coming in?
Yes. Someone else. dittoed your Blair Witch, The Skeleton Key.
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Soylent Green. What's that about? Isn't that a Shakespeare?
Is that the multi-bout one?
Nope. No. That's Human Centipede.
Lena, you ever seen that one?
No.
No. You're going to watch it tonight, though, aren't you?
No, I'm not going to watch it.
All of a sudden, Netflix is going to credit us because the search of mouth to butt is going to be really, really big today.
This person says The Good Son is on Hulu now. Trust me, it's a great movie.
But she ends up letting the kid go.
I ruined the ending for you, but you got the build-up is
How many spoiler alerts have we had this morning? Like, we're the worst. Let's talk tattoos. Now, where is this tattoo parlor?
Okay, so there's a tattoo parlor in Kentucky. Let me get my info up. So they are now offering free cover-ups for people that have hate tattoos or like gang tattoos.
Okay.
And they got out, and now they want to start their life. Maybe they're fresh out of prison, and they just want to erase that part of their life. And so they're giving them free cover-ups, which I think is like a new lease on life. Sometimes you don't have the money straight out the gate to get that stuff covered up. It costs a lot of money.
So if you at one point had like a swastika,
yep,
or I'm trying to think of what like a gang tattoo, if it's a Bloods, Crips, whatever the deal was, or if it was something else that was hateful.
And you're not about that life anymore.
What if it was just a girlfriend's name? Can you get that tattooed up for free?
No, I don't think that's what they're doing. Just hate or gang tattoos is what they're doing.
That's great. So what do you do? Like, what if you got that little "I killed someone, I dropped" tattoo on your? Yeah, you can't erase it. That's a laser thing, right? Tattoo parlors can't do that.
Well, cover it up with a sun, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe make a little shamrock out of it.
Yeah,
that would be cool. So, do you have a tattoo?
An Irishman?
do you have a tattoo that you would want covered? Do you want yours covered up?
No, I'm not mad about mine. I feel a little slighted that I've been told I was 90% Irish my whole life, which is not true. I'm 13% Irish. But I don't mind. It's cute.
Elena, do you have any tattoos you would prefer to be covered up?
I don't have any tattoos.
Not a one single chunk?
No.
You don't desire to get a tattoo?
No, I do want to get tattoos. I just don't know what I want to get.
So your indecisiveness has stopped you from getting tattoos for years.
So I wouldn't cover mine up, but if I could go back in time, I wouldn't get it. Because if you follow the old adage, you don't put a bumper sticker on a Bentley. You know what I mean? And so, Elena, if I were you, just kind of like do pretend ones. They have pretend ones. You can switch it up all the time. Henna.
But Elena, you're more like a Honda.
Wow.
I didn't expect that from you today.
Just taking shots at everybody, feeling the flow. Do you have Do you have a tattoo that you kind of regret? And Angie, you're first. What is it?
It was a cat playing a tuba.
And who was this?
It was a friend, and she used to play in a college band, and she played the tuba, and she's just absolutely obsessed with cats.
Right.
And so she thought maybe getting a tattoo from someone who didn't really know how was a good idea. I still love her, though.
Well, it's hard to not love somebody who is making a cat with a tuba tattoo really, really stand out.
I don't mind combining two things that you love. It's not like the cat booty hole in your belly button.
Right, that one's funny. The cat booty hole is funny.
That is pretty funny.
And Allison, will you tell us about, this is your mom, right?
The one my mom done on my right shoulder of the Tasmanian devil when I was like 14, so it was back in like 94.
Jeez.
And it was out of a homemade tattoo gun, which is where you take a motor out of like a remote control car and you take a big pin and you put the needle through the big pin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother's now a professional tattoo artist.
There it is.
And so it doesn't exist well, I mean, it does, but it's under something else.
Okay, so I get it that the tattoo... Listen, and thank you for the call. If anybody tells you I'm an amateur tattoo artist, as cheap as that tattoo is, that's one of those things you don't screw around with.
Yeah.
I get maybe if your friend does, drywalling on the side, maybe go a little bit cheaper. Mm-hmm. The tattoo thing. Hey, I got this RC car. I'm going to pull the motor out of it, strap a bunch of rubber bands to it on a big ballpoint pen.
Let's do it.
Natasha, how are you?
Good.
We were talking about this tattoo parlor in Kentucky that is offering free cover-ups. If you at one point in your life found yourself in maybe like a gang, or you kind of were like living a weird life and you had a bunch of racially charged tattoos, they'll cover them up for free to make the world a little bit of a better place. And so we thought, all right, we got to have listeners that would probably kind of say, I'd love a free cover-up. What would you want covered up? What's the tattoo you regret?
So my biological father, before he went to prison for like the 6th time, he knew he was going to be in there for a while. So his current wife, he had her tattooed naked on his arm so that he would have her with him.
Oh, so that
have new photos.
Yeah.
Little motivation. Little alone time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That's gross.
Yeah. And so your father has his new wife tattooed on his forearm. I'm guessing of his non-dominant hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Does it look? Is it like a hot naked chick, or is it like?
So
Like
he
truth
made her
telling.
look like a mermaid, so that if people. So now I guess I haven't talked to him in years, but like what I heard was he just says, "Oh, it's just a mermaid."
Yeah. I told you, mermaid erotica is a thing. I told you.
So weird. Do you have any tattoos, Natasha?
Yeah, I have 2.
You have your stepmom naked tattooed on your forearm?
No.
What are yours?
I have a start of my flowers on my back with butterflies, and then a matching heart with my best friend.
There it is.
Nice.
And your best friend is still your best friend, because we hear a lot of these stories on the radio about I got
Going
a best
on
friend.
10 years strong.
All right, 10 years strong. Very
That's
good.
awesome. You know, someone's walking around with my husband's face on their calf.
Yeah, we were giving away Justin
And-
Bieber tickets. And
I
it's-
wonder if she's gotten that covered up.
I don't know, man.
Kind
Whatever.
of a good story.
Listen, but you got it. It's like, I'm telling you, it's the size of.
Of your hand.
Yeah.
If you put your hand on your calf, it is the size, his face. Like right there.
It was one of the weirdest things, because we were doing this "What would you do for Justin Bieber" tickets, and I think we had like the front row seats, and this lady goes, "I would tattoo Kat's husband's face on my calf," and we went sold.
Yeah.
And it happened, and the pictures are out there if you want to Google it. It's Elaine, is that what you're doing right now? Are you Googling this?
No, I've seen the photo. It's in Derek's little cubby.
Oh, you're right. He does. He's got a picture of it at work. Oh my gosh.
Podcast. Download the podcast.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend. Immediately.
And hey, we have more podcast episodes available, so go check them out right now. Do it. Come on, do it. Seriously, do it.